Good morning, all of you. Once again, welcome back to our online classes. Before getting to our chapters, today I want to remind you about something, and it's about homework. So, I'm sure all of you heard about this word homework. Teachers give you homework, right? Why teachers give you homework? Teachers give you homework with certain intentions. Clear? So let's check today what are the benefits of homework. So here are few benefits of homework. You would get certain benefits from homework after doing homework. Clear? So these are the major benefits of homework. What is it? First of all, the teacher can understand how well the lessons being understood by the students. Today or nowadays we are running online classes, right? So we don't know, the teachers don't know exactly how you are picking up the subjects or how you are understanding the lessons. So one of the best method to understand how you being understood about the lessons is giving you homework. This is one of the benefits of homework. What is next? It teaches students how to do problems. So after studying or after watching a class, now you should have to apply them. How? By doing problems. Clear? So the study things can be applied by doing problems. Clear? So this can be done through your homeworks. Clear? And the next benefit of homework is, one of the important benefit of homework is that it is a best opportunity to review the classes. Clear? So suppose today you have attended the class, and after 2 days I am asking you about some questions about the previous class. What happens? Most of the things you have understood would be forgotten. It would be forgotten from your mind or from your brain. Clear? So there occurs memory loss. Clear? So to store things in our brain, we need to review it or we need to revise it. We need to revise things that have been you studied. Clear? For that, one of the best method to review things is doing your homework. If you are doing your homework after attending the class, then you would be able to store those things, the things that you studied in your mind. Clear? So these are the major benefits of doing homework. I hope all of you now understood about the importance of homework. So promise me that all of you should do all of your homework of all of the subject at all the time. Okay, now let's get into our chapter. Listen students, in the previous classes we have been discussed about our chapter knowing our numbers, and out of this chapter we have been discussed about the two topics. One is the natural and whole numbers, and thereafter we discussed about Indian and international number system. Clear? And now today we would be discussing about comparison of large numbers. Do you know what is mean by a comparison? In mathematics, comparison is either greater or smaller, etc. Clear? Larger or smaller or equal. These are the comparison methods used in mathematics. Clear? And you can see that in the topic comparison of large numbers, today we would discuss about the subtopics number array, about the number array, and about the concept of successor and predecessor. Clear? So these would be the topics we discuss today. Okay, now we start with the concept of number array. You are already familiar with the term number. And did you know what is meant by a array? See, there are three figures. The three figures are 1, 2 and 3. There are three figures here. And the first figure represents a line. The second figure represents a ray. Do you know which is the third figure? It represents a line segment. Line segment. So what makes the major differences between a line, a ray and a line segment? You can see that in the case of a line, there are two arrow marks on either sides. What does it indicate? The arrow marks indicates that they do not end anywhere. They are extending up to infinity on towards both the sides. So a line is one which does not have an end. It is extending towards both the ends, both the sides. Clear? Now just look at a ray. What is the peculiarity or speciality of a ray? You can see that a ray has a particular end or a starting point. Clear? So it has one end, and at the other side you can see an arrow mark, which means it does not have a second end or second terminal. The other side is extending up to infinity. Clear? Such a thing is called a ray. So a ray should be having one end and the other side would be extending up to infinity. Clear? Now look at the third figure. Here there are exactly two ends. Suppose this end is A and this end is B. So this is a piece or segment of line, or otherwise we can call it as a line segment. What is the peculiarity of a line segment? A line segment has exactly two ends, two definite ends. One is at A and other is at B. So that this would be line segment AB. Clear? So I hope you understood about the concepts of line, ray and line segment. Clear? Listen here. Now we are familiar with both the term number and the term ray. A ray simply refers to this. A particular starting point is there and it would be extending, the other side would be extending up to infinity. Clear? So this is a ray. You can make it a number ray by marking numbers on this ray. Clear? Which kind of numbers we are going to mark on this number ray? We are going to mark all numbers on this number ray. Do you know why we use a ray for marking all numbers? Because all numbers are exactly similar to a ray. A ray has one end, one starting point, and the other does not terminate, other extends up to infinity. Similarly, a whole number also has a starting point. Can you say which is the starting point of a whole number? Which is the smallest whole number? It is 0. Clear? So you can mark this end as 0. Clear? From here onwards, we should have to consider a unit distance, a fixed distance. Here I am considering my unit distance as 1 centimeter. So I am taking the unit distance as 1 centimeter. And after starting from 0, I am putting markings after every 1 centimeters. Clear? And you can mark the next coming all numbers on these marks. Clear? So 0. After 0, the next all number 1 can be marked here. The next would be 2. The next would be 3, 4, 5. Is it ends at 5? No. It would be extending up to infinity. Clear? So now this becomes a number ray. A ray upon which the all numbers are marked. Clear? The terminal of the ray would be 0 and it does not have an end. Clear? It would be extending up to infinity. Clear? This is what is about a number ray. Do you know why we are using a number ray here? It is because from a number ray we can understand about the concepts of successor and predecessor. Clear? The concepts of successor and predecessor can be easily understood from a number ray. For that, first of all, I am introducing you about successor. For that, I am just selecting a whole number from this number ray. You see, I am selecting the number 3, which is a whole number, and here the number is marked on the number ray. Now consider the number which is immediately right of the number 3. Which is the number immediately right of the 3? It is 4, the nearest number on the right side, which would be 4. Clear? So we can say that 4 is the successor of 3. 4 is the successor of 3. Or in return, we can also say that the successor of 3 is 4. So, two ways we can define successor of a number, or we can say successor of a number. Which are them? Either we can say 4 is the successor of 3, or we can say the successor of 3 is 4. Both of them means the same. Clear? So I hope you got about the concept of successor. Clear? Now tell me, what would be the successor of 4? To get the successor of 4, we need to move immediately right of this 4. Clear? Which is the number immediately right of this 4? It is 5. We should have to move right, and you can see that there is the number 5. Clear? So how can you say it? You can say that 5 is the successor of 4, or you can say that successor of 4 is 5. Clear? I hope you got the concept of successor. So what happens when you find the successor of one number? You can see that here there is the number 3, and to get its successor you just need to add 1. You just need to sum up it with 1. Clear? You just need to add 1 to the number. So that 3 plus 1. We discussed about successor of 3. Clear? To get successor of 3, we just need to add 1 with the number 3. So what would be the answer? 4. Clear? This is how successor of a number can be found. How can you find the successor of 4? You should have to add 4 plus 1, which would be 5. Clear? This is how successor can be defined. Clear? So to find successor, we just want to add 1 to the given number. Clear? Now just listen. Now we are going to discuss about predecessor. Predecessor. For finding successor, we move immediately to the right of the number. Clear? And if we want to find the predecessor, we just want to move immediately left of the number. Clear? We just want to find the number which is immediately left of the given number on the number line. So to find the predecessor of 3, what you should do? You should have to move towards left. Clear? You should have to move towards left. This would be right of 3 and this would be left of 3. So you are moving towards left of 3. So that upon which number you would be reaching? You would be reaching at 2. So that how can you say it? You can say that 2 is the predecessor of 3, or in return the predecessor of 3 is 2. Clear? This is how the concept of successor and predecessor are defined. So answer me, what would be the predecessor of 8? To find the predecessor of 8, what do you want to do? You want to move towards left of 8. Clear? Or otherwise you can do subtraction. A subtraction of 1 from the number 8. Clear? To find predecessor, you should have to minus 1. You should have to subtract 1 from the given number. Clear? So that the predecessor of 8 would be equal to 8 minus 1, which would be 7. Clear? What would be the predecessor of 11? To find the predecessor of 11, you should have to subtract 1 from 11, which would be 10. Clear? How can you say it? 10 is the predecessor of 11. Clear? Or the predecessor of 11 is 10. Clear? So I hope you understood. I hope you very well understood about the concepts of number array, successor and predecessor. Clear? Listen here. Here are few numbers given for you, and you should have to find the successor of all the numbers. How can you find the successor of any number? By adding 1 to it. Clear? So what would be the successor of 10? The successor would be 10 plus 1. Which would be the answer? It would be 11. Clear? What would be the successor of 99? It would be 99 plus 1. Which would be the answer? 100. Now answer for this. What would be the successor of 1009? You should have to add 1 to it. So that 1009 plus 1. Can you say what would be the answer? Do you want to submit or work out it in the working column? No, there is an easy way. Here there is a speciality for this number, and the speciality for this number is the last digit is 9. Clear? If the last digit is 9, to find a successor, replace that digit by 0. Replace that 9 by 0. Clear? And increase the previous digit or the second place by 1. Here the second place you can see it is 0. So add 1 so that it would become 1. Clear? Now there is no change for the remaining numbers. Which are the remaining numbers? 0 and 1. So the successor of 1009 would be 1010. Clear? If you are clear about this, now you should have to answer for this. Clear? You should have to find the successor of 23,999. What do you want to do? You just want to add 1. So that 23,999 plus 1. Here also you can use the same trick. Listen here. The last 3 digits are, all of the last 3 digits are 9. Clear? In that case, to find successor in an easy way, you should have to replace all these 9 as 0. So how many zeros would be there? There would be 3 zeros. Then there is a comma. Clear? Then the digit 3, it should be increased by 1 so that it would become 4. No change for any other numbers, so that this 2 would be the same 2 itself. So the successor of 23,999 would be 24,000. Clear? This is how successor can be easily found when the last coming digits are 9. Clear? What is the method? You should have to replace all those last coming 9s as 0. Then the nearest number to that 9 would be increased by 1. Here it is 3 and it would become 4. I hope all of you clear. If you are clear, then you are going to answer this question. What would be the, what is this number? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, lakh, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, lakh. Clear? So it would be 2,29,999. Clear? What would be its successor? To find its successor, we should have to add 1. So 2,29,999 plus 1. What would be the answer? The answer would be, see how many 9s are there in the last places. In the last places there are 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. Clear? All those 9s should be replaced as 0. 1 0, 2 0, 3 0, thereafter a comma. Again instead of this 9 also we put 0. Now the next coming digit, it is 2. That 2 is replaced as 3. Clear? There is no change for other digits. So this 2 would be 2 itself. And here is a comma. Which is the number? Read it. 2,30,000. Which would be the successor. Clear? Now there is another example. You have to find the successor. Clear? And the number is 52 lakh 992,999. What would be its successor? So to find successor, again we should have to add 1. So that 52 lakh 92,999 plus 1. What would be the answer? You have to find the answer. For that, you can see that the last 3 digits, clear, all of them are 9. Do you want to account for this 9? No, because this is not at the end. Because this is after 2. So this 9 need not to be considered. These 3 9 need to be considered. And what would you want to do? All those 9s should be replaced as 0. So how many zeros would be here? 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Thereafter a comma. Then this 2, the next digit should be increased by 1. 2 plus 1, it would become 3. There is no change for the other digit, so that it would become 9, thereafter a comma, then 52. What is the answer? 52,93,000. Clear? So I hope you clear about the concept of successor and how can you find the successor of very large numbers. Listen here. Now we are going to check out how it can be easily found the predecessor of different numbers. So look at here. Here are few numbers given for you, and you should have to find the predecessor of all the given numbers. So what is the usual method of finding predecessor of a number? To find the predecessor of a number, you should have to subtract 1 from the given number. Clear? So the predecessor of 10 would be 10 minus 1. You know the answer. 10 minus 1 would be 9. Clear? It would be 9. Now we are going to find the predecessor of 1001. 1001. What do you want to do? You want to subtract 1 from 1001. What would be the answer? This 1 would be subtracted, so that the answer would be 1000 itself. This one would be subtracted. Clear? Now listen here. Here is a number 1000, and you should have to find the predecessor of this 1000. What do you want to do? You should want to subtract 1 from this 1000. And here there is an idea we can use as we used in the case of successor. Clear? As we used in the case of successor, similarly we can use another idea in the case of predecessor also. When the numbers which are having 0 as the last coming digits, which are having 0 as the last digits, to find predecessor, you should have to replace all those zeros as 9. So that how many 9s would be here? There are 3 zeros in the last digits place. Clear? So all of them can be replaced as 9. And now consider the next digit, which is 1. You should have to subtract 1 from this 1. 1 minus 1 would be 0. Clear? So this would be the answer. 0, 9, 9, 9. And you know that the zeros on the left of any number, the zeros on the leftmost end does not has a value. So this 0 can be avoided, so that the answer would be 999. Clear? So this is the method for finding predecessor word in the case of numbers whose last coming digits are 0. The last digits are 0, then you have to replace all those digits by 9, and the next coming digit would be subtracted by 1. Clear? This is the easy method. So hope you understood. Now let's check out how we can use this idea to find the predecessor of the next number, the fourth number, which is the number 20 oh, there is a small mistake here. The number would be 22,000. So this is the number, which is the number 20,20,000. Clear? So how can you find the predecessor of this number? To find the predecessor, you should have to subtract 1. 20,20,000 minus 1. For this, you can use the trick, because the last 4 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, the last 4 digits are 0. So to find predecessor, replace all those digits as 9. Clear? And the next digit is subtracted by 1. 2 minus 1. What is the answer? 1. 2 minus 1 would give 1. There is no change for other digits. So here it would be 20 itself. So that the answer would be 20,19,999. This would be the predecessor. Clear? Now complete this question. How can you find the predecessor of this number? It would be 10,23,900 minus 1. What would be the answer? You can see that here you want to find the predecessor. To find the predecessor, if there are zeros at the right end or zeros coming as the last digits, then replace those zeros as 9. So that what would be the answer? Both these zeros would be replaced as 9. Then account for the next digit, which is 9 here, and you should have to subtract 1 from it. 9 minus 1 would give 8. Then there is a comma, and there is no change for any other digits, so that it would be 2310. What would be the answer? 10,23,899. This would be the answer. So I hope all of you clear about the concepts of successor, predecessor, and finding the method, or using the methods to find successor and predecessor of higher numbers. Clear? Listen here. Now we are going to discuss about successor of successor and predecessor of predecessor. Here is a number 21, and you should have to find the successor of this number 21. How can you find? First of all, you should have to find the successor of 21. What is successor of 21? 21 plus 1, and it would be 22. So here only one times you consider the successor. Clear? And you got the successor of 21 as 22. But you need to consider the successor of successor. Clear? Successor of successor means again one more times you should have to consider the successor of the obtained number. Here, after considering one successor, we obtained the number 22. Again one more times we should have to consider successor. So that again you should have to add 1 to it, so that the number would be 23. So you can say that if we have a number 21, then its successor would be 21 plus 1 equal to 22. and the successor of successor would be how many times you should have to add 1? 2 times. So that 21 plus 1 again plus 1. So that the answer would be 23. Clear? So this is about successor of successor. Now consider the concept of predecessor of predecessor. Here is a number 54 and you should have to find the predecessor of this number 54. What do you want to do? First of all, you would find just the predecessor of 54. How can you find it? 54 minus 1. To find predecessor, we subtract 1. So that 54 minus 1 would be 53. This is the predecessor. Now, we should want to find predecessor of predecessor. For that, again, you should have to subtract 1 from this obtained 53. So that 53 minus 1 would be equal to 52. Clear? Or simply, you can say that to find the predecessor of the number 54, you should have to subtract 1 how many times? 2 times. Or you can say that you should have to subtract 2. Simply you can say that you should have to subtract 2. So that the answer would be 54 minus 2. What would be the answer? It would be 52. Clear? So the predecessor of the number 54 would be 52. How can you obtain it? You can obtain it by subtracting 2 instead of 1. Clear? So successor of successor means you should have to add 2. Predecessor of predecessor means you should have to subtract 2. For finding only the successor, you should have to add 1. For finding the predecessor, you should have to subtract 1. I hope you clear about this. Listen here. Now we discuss about the concept of consecutive numbers. What does the word mean by consecutive? The consecutive means continuously following. Continuously following. Clear? Here I am writing the all numbers, the list of all numbers starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Clear? You can see that after 0, the next all number is 1 and the next is 2 and the next is 3. Clear? So it is continuously following. It is continuously following. Here I write some other all numbers. 2, 5, 8, 20, etc. Clear? You can see that after this 2, actually the continuously following number is 3. Thereafter 4. Thereafter 5. Clear? So in the given numbers, they are not continuously following. If they are not continuously following, then we cannot say they are consecutive numbers. If the numbers are continuously following, then we can say that they are consecutive numbers. Here the given numbers are consecutive. Which numbers? Consecutive all numbers. Clear? Consecutive all numbers. These are the consecutive whole numbers. Now I hope you are familiar with the odd numbers. The odd numbers starts from 1, thereafter 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, etc. Clear? So this represents consecutive odd numbers. This represents consecutive odd numbers. So can you say what is consecutive even numbers? It would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. These represent consecutive even numbers. Here are some numbers given for you. 2, 10, 12. Is they are consecutive? No, because after 2 there are 4, 6, 8, 10. This is the continuously following order. And here there are some numbers missing. So we cannot consider this is as a consecutive even numbers. Clear? So I hope you understood about the concept of consecutive numbers. What is consecutive means? Continuously following. There would not be missing of any numbers. Clear? So far we have been discussed about this much of important concepts. Which are them? First of all, we have been started with the number array. Then discussed about successor, predecessor, successor of successor, predecessor of predecessor, and finally we told about consecutive numbers. All of you clear? I hope all of you clear about these topics. Now we are going to do some special problems related with these topics. Listen here. Here is a question. Give the 3 consecutive odd numbers preceding 1,24,899. On this question, you should have to focus upon certain specific parts. How many numbers you should have to find? You should have to find 3 numbers. Which type of numbers? Consecutive numbers, which means continuously following numbers. Following to where? Following to forward or following to backward? Following to backward. That is indicated by the word preceding. Preceding means you should have to move towards left. If you want to move towards right, then it would be succeeding. So here it is preceding. You should have to move towards left. And now one more thing. You should have to find odd numbers. You should have to find odd numbers, not all the odd numbers. Only you have to pick odd numbers. For that, here it is given, the given number also is an odd number. You can see that the last digit is 9. So the number itself is an odd number. Clear? What do you want to find? You want to find the preceding, which means the left of this number. There would be 3 consecutive odd numbers. Those numbers you should have to find. Before doing this problem, I am just writing the consecutive odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. Thereafter it reaches our number after a large numbers, after a lot of numbers, it reaches 1,24,899. Clear? And all these are consecutive odd numbers. And you can see that from 1 to get the consecutive number 3, consecutive odd number 3, how much you should have to add? You should have to add 2. Again to get 5, again you add 2. Clear? Which means the difference between consecutive odd numbers is 2. This is similar to the case of even numbers also. 2, 4, 6, 8, etc. What is the difference between two consecutive numbers? It is also 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. And so on. Clear? So, to get the odd number preceding 7. Preceding means you should have to move towards left. What do you want to do? You want to subtract 2. 7 minus 2. Clear? Which would be 5. Again, you want one more consecutive number. You again want to subtract 2. Which would be 3. Again, if you want, again want to subtract 2. Which would be 1. So, the 3 consecutive odd numbers preceding the number 7 would be, on backwards it would be 5, 3 and 1. These are the numbers. And similarly, we should have to do this problem. Only the difference is the number is a large number. But still, to get 3 preceding odd numbers, you want to continuously subtract 2. How many times? 3 times. And each time you subtract 2, you would be getting an odd number. Clear? So that which would be the numbers preceding this number? Which would be the odd numbers preceding this number? The first one would be 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, minus 2. Which would be, this 2 is at the ones place. Clear? So you should have to subtract 2 from here, the ones place. 9 minus 2, which would be 7. There would not be any change for the remaining. So that 9, 8, it would be 24, then it would be 1. Clear? This number minus 2. What would be the next preceding odd number? Again, you should have to subtract 2 from the obtained number. So that next would be 1,24,897 minus 2 would be 1,24,890. This 7 minus 2, which would be 5. 895. How many numbers, how many consecutive odd numbers you should have to find? 3. How many you got? 2. So, one more you should have to subtract. So that 1,24,895 again minus 2, which would be 1,24,893. These would be the 3 consecutive numbers preceding this number. 3 consecutive odd numbers preceding this number. Which are the 1,24,897, 1,24,895, 1,24,893. Clear? This would be the order. Here is another one special type of question for you. You just read it. Name 2 consecutive prime numbers in the whole number system. Clear? You know the whole number system starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. This is the whole number system. And you don't need the complete whole number system. You need to consider the prime numbers. Do you familiar with the prime numbers? Which are the prime numbers? Which is the smallest prime number? The smallest prime number is 2. Then the next one is 3. The next is 5. The next is 7. Then 11. Then 13, etc. These are the set of prime numbers. You can see that prime numbers are in the whole number. Clear? From all numbers we selected certain numbers only. So all the prime numbers are whole numbers. They are in the whole numbers. Clear? Out of these prime numbers, you should have to find how many numbers. You should have to name how many numbers? 2 numbers. 2 which type of numbers? 2 consecutive prime numbers. Look at the set of prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, etc. Out of this, which numbers are consecutive? You can see that 2 and 3 are consecutive. They are continuously following. Is the 5 also consecutive? No. There is a for all number 4 missing here. Clear? So the only 2 consecutive prime numbers are 2 and 3. So the answer would be 2 and 3. The names are 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are the only 2 consecutive prime numbers that belongs in the whole number system. Clear? So this all about our today's session. There would be a homework given for you and don't forget to do it. Clear? All of you want to do all the questions given as your homework. So I hope you will do it and send it to me. So we can see in the next class. Thank you.